Africa is blessed with a vast area of land good for growing maize, cassava, groundnut, as well as various other crops and vegetables. But the sad thing is that many African countries still live with hunger and malnutrition. The problem is not that we do not have farmers who can cultivate the land and grow enough food. Instead, the problem is that most of the farmers apply poor agricultural practices on their farms, leading to poor yields and massive losses. That's why today we have invited an expert in crop cultivation who is going to show us how to farm right in this new planting season. Our trainer for today is Mr. Olakunle Olatunji, popularly known as Olatfarms. When it comes to making millions growing food in open fields, he has done it before, he is currently doing it, and he can still do it many times over. He will be sharing with us the secrets to his success as a vegetable farmer so that you can copy his strategy and achieve good success on your farm. It will be very unfair for you to take all the knowledge from this section to yourself alone. So I urge you to share this broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, and via email so that we can reach as many people as possible. Prepare your questions while the session is going on, and make sure to join the live question and answer session using the pinned link in the comment section below. Now, without further ado, let's get into the lectures.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
My name is Olakunle Olatunji, popularly known as the Olatfarms. I'm here to talk about farming right in 2023. Farming, one, is a good profession that we just encourage everyone to go into and dabble into. If you know what you're doing and you understand all the gimmicks in farming, you won't have a problem. Though farming has its own headache. But there is no job in this world that we have today that doesn't have its own headaches. So likewise too, farming too has its own headaches, and then it has its own principle. Whatever any work that you wanted to do and you don't even know what you're supposed to do, as at when you at the right time, then you're going to have a problem. That's the reason why most of people that put money into farming nowadays, they don't get it right, and then you see them checking out after like a year, 2 years, some 3 years. You see that the farm is not bringing something for them. And when you have a farm, the farm's supposed to be bringing profit for you. Though farming is not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a gradual process. But still, you need to know the do's and don'ts in farming. So that's what we wanted to talk about. You understand? We are in year 2023. You need to know one or two things that you are supposed to be doing for you to have at least a very profitable farming season this year 2023. Whatever the mistakes that you've been making in your farming area, well, I just want to just put you through and then correct you on one or two things. One, for you to have a very good result in farming, your land matters a lot. The land that you wanted to use, you must have a land that have at least that is accessible to water. I mean, a large surface water, whether it's a river, a stream, a dam. And if you don't have that, make sure that you have a land that has a borehole inside, maybe you are going to seek a borehole inside your land. And then the quality of your land matters a lot too. You understand? Whatever you wanted to do, it's necessary for you to carry out a soil test on your farm, for you to know what and what to plant on this particular farmland, because each farmland has what you can grow that will grow very well on them. Not every land. You can't say the land for example now, the land for potato is quite different. The land from groundnut is quite different from the one you're going to use to plant cucumber. The land you're going to use plant rice is different from the one that you're going to use to plant beans. So all those things you need to know. Every crop has its own techniques that we used to grow then. So whenever you wanted to dabble into any farming aspect, try and seek knowledge. Knowledge is very essential in everything that we do. At least you understudy a farmer that you know is doing the same crops that you wanted to do. It's very, very important that you go for a practical training. At least you see firsthand how things is being done, how it's being planted, even how they combat with disease, because there is no way you are still going to combat disease in the farm. There is no way you wanted to do a commercial farming and you said your farm is disease free. You still have one or two challenges. So if you understudy a practicing farmer, it will be much very easier for you. You understand, to know how they combat the disease, the challenges that they encounter in the farm, how they were able to solve it. So it's very, very, very important. And then again, you see, irrigation is another thing that you need to consider. Like me, I can't plant without irrigation. I'm not a rain-fed farmer. Even during the rain, I'm always with my irrigation. I can't do any farming without not making provision for irrigation, because that's the only way you can break even in this industry. For example, now we are in the dry season. Everybody is not planting. Most of people are not planting. It's just only few that has irrigations and water that will be planting. And this is when you can be able to get at least 3 times as what you're going to sell during the rainy season. For example, we have a cucumber boom just last year. A bag of cucumber was sold close to 12,000, 15,000 in Lagos. And right here in Ibadan here, it was sold for 10,000, 9,000 naira. Which on a normal day, during the rainy season, we do sell for as low as 3,000, 3,500. So just imagine if I just basically farm during the rainy season, how am I going to break even? That's the more reason why you need to farm all year round. Because there will be a time of glut and there will be a time of scarcity. So when you're farming all year round, at least the time of glut, the time of scarcity, you will be there. You understand? To at least get your money back. And then aside the land aspect, the nutrient of the farm is very, very, very vital too. Like I said, that you are going to do a soil test. If you do a soil test, you know what and what your soil have, and whatever that your soil doesn't have, you complement it. You understand? It's very, very important. Each crops have the nutrients that make them to thrive very well. You understand? Like me now, what I do most in my farm is a cucumber. I major most in cucumber, but I do some other stuff too. I do farming. I do tomato. That's on request, not often like that, but I do target the peak period to do it. We do pepper, bell pepper, things like that. But I major most in cucumber farming. And the reason why I do cucumber farming is everybody knows that cucumber is just 6 weeks. It helps me to be able to pay the worker's salary. And then it helps me to keep up with whatever financial aspect that I need to do for myself and the families also. You understand? That's the reason why I do cucumber farming, because it's something that when you put your money into, you don't have to wait for long. That's the reason why I love vegetable. As you see me, I'm a pure vegetable farmer. You can't see me doing a long-term crops. It's not as if long-term crops is not good. Yes, it's good. But me as a person, it's not something that I really want to do now, because there are a lot of responsibilities to be doing, and then a long-term crop it's meant for maybe someone that has enough money. You understand that? Okay, and you have the patience to wait. But vegetable, we have vegetable of 6 weeks, we have vegetable of 2 months, vegetable of 3 months. You understand? And then you start getting in your money. So those are the things that I specialized on. And you see these vegetables, they are very, very delicate. Yes, you get your money back. but it's not easy to manage a vegetable farm at all, especially fruit vegetables. They are not easy to manage. Tomato too is another thing entirely that it's not easy to manage, because these things, they have an epidemic disease that you're going to combat with. So if you don't know what you're supposed to do, my brother, your farm can just go within a twinkle of an eye. So it's very, very important that the soil nutrients, you know your soil nutrients, you know what you're going to do to patch it up to be able to meet the required nutrients that your crops need to do very well. Soil management is one of those things. If a soil that has enough nutrients is going to do well, you've even solved half of the future disease that's supposed to come. Because if your soil has enough nutrients, then they are going to be an immune to be able to fight disease efficiently. A good soil fight disease efficiently. For example, now in this my training farm, this is just like, it's not up to 3 plots. All the places that I irrigated, maybe like 2.5 plots. When I plant cucumber on a good agricultural practices, I see close to 200 bags, at times over 200 bags on a good agricultural practices. We give them water, then we manage this disease. Some people always say, how do I get that kind of harvest in just a 2.5 plot of land? People that even plant 1 acre self doesn't get up to that. It's very simple. Very, very simple. I have an irrigation here. This is an irrigation. You can see this is a drip irrigation on the farm. That's the water. I just dig the borehole for just a 2.5 plot of land. And then again, I don't joke with nutrients that I'm supposed to give my plants. I don't joke with them. If I learned that these things will do well for my farm, you see me, I go all out for it to get it. I don't even want to know how much it costs. I go all out to get it. And then again, plant population is very, very important. For example, here in this 1.5 plot, you won't believe that I normally plant up to like 300 grams of cucumber here, because as you can see, this is a double tip. I manage the land. So plant population is even much more important in whatever you're going to do. For example, you wanted to plant 1 acre of cucumber and you don't have up to 10,000 or over 10,000 stands, and you said you wanted to be getting 500 bags, 400 bags. How do you want to do it? You have to know the required plants that was supposed to be on your farm for you to get that desired result. You see some people, they will say they plant an acre, but they have just 4,000 stand, 5,000 stand. And you say you wanted to get 500, 600 bags. How are you going to do it? You are just wasting the land. There is what we call land management. You have to manage your land, and the plant populations that are supposed to be in each land is very, very essential. That is what is going to give you a good yield. The amount of seed that you put inside the soil is what will give you a good yield. So if you put 5,000, definitely you know you are going to get a lower yield to someone that puts 10,000 on the same space of land. And when you look at it, it's just the same process. The same workers you are going to use for the same 5,000 is what you're going to use for the same 10,000. But at the end of the day, you get more if you plant more on the same space of land. So plant population, you need to take it into consideration. The soil nutrients, the water, you need to take them into consideration. And then to now sums up the whole thing that will make your farm to be very, very effective, you have to have a handy man on the farm, a handy workers. If you don't have an efficient workers, my brother, your farm is nothing. And for you to have an efficient worker, you yourself must be an efficient owner. Because if you don't treat your workers very well, definitely your farm is going to suffer. I know some farm owners that they are opportune to have a very good workers, but they treat them very well and they lose them. They too, they are human beings. When you have an efficient farm workers, then your farm tends to thrive. But for you to be able to like ginger them also, they will know that okay, you yourself, you are efficient, and then their well-being is very paramount to you. I don't joke with my workers because they have responsibilities also. We talk like a family. So we are just like a family, and that's how it's supposed to be. But the process whereby you distance yourself away from your workers, or maybe they are scared of you, even if something is going on in the farm, they don't want to tell you because they are scared of you. But in a process whereby you joke with them, they will come to you, hey, okay, something wanted to happen, this and this. They will tell you all on before it even happens. So that woman relationship between you and your workers, you need to build that relationship. You need to build it. Build a kind of a working relationship with them, a kind of trust. Let them trust you, and then give them a benefit of doubt too. You see, have a very good workers. Not all the workers are lazy, and not all of them are in the same bracket, because everybody has these notions that are workers, they are the same. No, I've been very opportune to have a very good and efficient workers, and I've had some bad workers too. So, but you as a farm owner, you need to take care of that aspect very, very well. It's very, very important. And then after that, you have a very good workers. You buy what you're supposed to buy on the farm. For example, the fungicides, the pesticides, the nutrients. You've gotten them. There's something that we call good agricultural practices, which means one of it that is very essential is the weeding. You see, weeding inside the farm is very important. You don't allow your crop to compete with the weeds. The weeds too, if you allow them to stay long on the farm, they compete with the plants. They don't allow the plants to grow very well. So you need to find a routine for you to be weeding often and often. A farm that is free of weed will do very well. And if your farm, your plants rather, have to combat with the weeds, definitely it's going to affect them. And then you are inviting disease to your farm. Because all these unwanted plants, they harbor disease. They harbor a different insect that will affect your plant. So you need to uproot them away. Make sure you are doing that. And one thing you need to consider, again, if you wanted to go into any crop farming, is the market. The market, do you have enough market for what you wanted to plant? What are they planting in your community? You can't just plant and now say you don't have a ready-made market, or you don't plant what your community wanted. No, things are not done that way. You see, some farmers, they will plant, but to now sell will be difficult for them. You can have a very good yield in your farm, and now to sell will now be difficult. So, one thing that you must take into consideration before you plant any crops is it acceptable in the community you have? What kind of species do they buy? All those things, you have to do your homework before you now debut into any type of crops you wanted to plant. So it's very, very, very important. market is very, very important. And then the road network to your farm is very, very important. Okay, fine, you just planted and you have a very good harvest. How do you take it to the market? Is the road network accessible? Is it not the road that even if you called a truck driver, they will say they cannot go because the road is bad? So whenever you wanted to site your farmland, you must know that that farmland, the road network is very okay and the farmland is very, very accessible. All those things you need to take it into consideration. And then the place where you wanted to site your farm, you must consider if there is a network there. Network is very, very important. You have to communicate with your workers. How do you communicate with them? You cannot be on the farm often and often. Even if you are not there, you have to be communicating with your manager if you have a farm manager. So the network in the farm too is very, very, very important. Those are the things that you need to take into consideration whenever you wanted to plant. Yes, everybody wanted to have a very good harvest. You want your farms to do very well, but the market too. That's one of the ultimate goals that you must take into consideration whenever you wanted to plant. So it's very, 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 very important. Now, for example, here in my own farm, all these things that I've already laid down, those are the mistakes that I make when I was starting my farm. But as time goes on, I got to know some things that I've not been doing, and I start applying it. That is when I started making profit in my farm, and that is when I'm giving you freely. You won't get it anywhere. And like I told you, mentorship is very, very important too. If you wanted to start, even is any business, not even only farming, you have to have a mentor. You have to have a guidance, someone that will guide you, someone that will walk you through the storm. It's very, very important, because there will be a storm. There will be. I know some people will be saying it's very easy for you to say now because you are just lucky. No, there is nothing like being lucky. Yes. When I started this thing, my home farm, I can tell you things was very rough. Very, 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 very rough. I made a lot of mistakes. A mistakes that I'm not supposed to be standing my ground. But you know, one thing that keep me going is just my will. The self-driving, the belief, and then the passion that I have for what I do. If you don't have a passion for anything, you can never succeed in it. So you need that passion. You need that self-driving. Farming can cause a lot of heartache. And farming, you see, farming is not for the weak. Because there are a lot of things that is involved. There are a lot of unforeseen circumstances. Just imagine the last harvest that I did in this particular farm. I have a problem with my borehole, and then we have a shortage of water. Within it again, fuel scarcity. I have a problem of fuel scarcity, and we are in the dry season. I don't even know that my borehole, that there is a pipe that breaks inside the borehole. We don't know for like almost 4 or 5 days, and the crops suffer for it. You know, it really tells on the crops. You will see the video. I will show you the videos of how it tells on the crops. So you can just you see the video in the next slide.
Yeah, this video here happened 3 years ago. It was in the dry season. I think it was around January. That time I did not do my calculation very well as regards the water, because we are using a well that would dig at that time. So we are very short of water. The plants did well in the first 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So when they start bringing out flowers, that's when the water inside the well cannot contain them again, and that's the result. So the leaves started drying off, the flowers started aborting. It was so bad. So when you don't have enough water, or you don't plan very well for this dry season period, you always have an issue like this. So since then, I've learned my lesson. Instead for me to plant a big place that I know water will not contain, I would rather plant a very few space that I know the water that I have at my disposal will be able to contain them. And then this is it. This harvest that you saw here is what we got from that particular plant that doesn't have enough water. You see, if your crop doesn't have enough water, for example, this one is cucumber. The cucumber will start coiling, and then the cucumber will become very bitter. So that's a result of inadequate water. So water is very, very important. Whatever you wanted to do or you wanted to plant, make sure that you have enough water. Even in the raining season, at least have alternative for water, because during the raining season, there are times that you won't have rain for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That rain will cease. So it's very important that you have alternative for rain in your farm.
All right, now that you've seen the video, you can see that water is very, very essential. But as soon as you rectify that problem again, you get the water is working well and things come back to normal. But that little water that we don't give them, it really affects the harvest. But if it's not an experienced farmer, if it's an inexperienced farmer, we would have lost the whole farm. There are some certain things that I needed to add to boost the farm again. Those are the things that you need to learn. So you need mentorship. You need to be in farm. Undergo a practical farmer. Practice what we call GAP. And when I said GAP, GAP means good agricultural practices. You just have to practice it. You have to do it. It's very, very essential. It's very, very important. Farming is good. Farming is profitable. But you cannot be doing farming the way it's being done in the old ways and says you wanted to break even. No. And you cannot be a rain-fed farmer and say you wanted to break even. And then again, the plant population that you are supposed to put in a very big space of land, let's say you are supposed to put like 10,000 there and you are putting 5,000, you say you wanted to break even. No, you cannot break even. No matter how you do it, you can't break even. So there are some certain things that you need to know for you to break even in farming. You can see this is an irrigation. Wanted to start another planting. You can see that the ridges is being done. We've already started laying the dripper tape back. So all these things you needed to be taken into consideration. In the next slide, I will show you how a healthy farm is supposed to be. You just finished doing the weeding, have you? You still need that side?
And then like level ridges.
All those ones where don't they get extra branches? If you rope see there now.
And that one where we come out and day.
If you use them, sure you understand. Let me stick them. If you don't come for you. They are really doing very fine. All right. We've been talking about farming right in 2023, and I've made some few points that I've tried to analyze in the last videos. I'll still be talking about on farming rights in 2023. You see, we've talked about the land, that your land must not be too far from networks. The land, there must be a road access network, at least for any vehicle to be able to come in. Then treating your workers very well, practicing gap, which is controlling the weeding, and then spraying your crops, giving them regular nutrients, what they need, doing soil tests. We've talked about all those things. And then one thing again that is very, very important that you must take into consideration is the seed that you wanted to plant. The quality of seed matters a lot. You just don't plant anyhow seed. We have different types of seed. Even the hybrid seed, we still have the ones that they are much more quality than each other. Even the hybrid seed. So whenever you wanted to plant, try and do your research. Know the seed that has a very good resistance to disease. Know the seed that will give you a high yield. It's very, very important. For example, like tomato now, we have the seed that goes well with the rainy season. And we have the seeds that goes well with the dry season. And we have the seed that if you plant, both in the rainy season and the dry season, at least, it goes well with both seasons. So you have to know all those things. Cucumber, we have different types of seed. And the prices ranges from each other. So all those things you have to take into consideration. That's the reason why I said undergoing a practicing farmer goes a long way. Look for a good farmer, a farmer that is practicing. Go to them. Maybe use like 6 to a year with them. 6 months to a year rather with them. At least you know how they do things in their farm. It's very, very important. Look for a mentorship. There is no shortcut in farming. As you lay your bed, that's how you're going to lie on it. When I started this journey, my heart got burnt a lot. It's during the process of planting and then me having a good resilience and never giving up. That's what really got me here. But what I went through, I know many people that we started together, that they are no more today. As in, they are no more practicing farming today. They chicken out. But it's just because I just wanted to do this and wanted to be successful. But I know how much I lose. I know what really happened. Farming can be very, very tasking. Farming is not for the faint-hearted. If you are supposed to give your plants a nutrient and you say you wanted to manage, you don't want to give them the required nutrient, it's going to tell on your crops, it's going to tell on your plants, it's going to tell on your harvest. So you don't skip any process in farming. You must do the right things at the right time. It's very, very important. Very, very important. Don't say, I want to bypass one thing. What are you bypassing? In farming, my brother, you go chop cane. So there is no shortcut in it. You just have to do what you're supposed to do at the right time. You know, I've had a lot of very good harvest. I will show you in the next slide the kind of harvest I have on my farm. A very good and encouraging harvest. Though it has not been easy. Before I could be able to arrive on having a very good harvest on my farm, it's close to 2 years of practicing it that I'm losing continuously. But I never give up. I make research. I go online. What is this? What is happening to this? I went to a lot of people that have been doing it before me, before I could now be able to know what and what to be doing. And when I start applying all these things, that's when I started getting good harvests. And that's why I started having a very good turnover on my farm. And that is what I'm trying to tell you now. If you have a mentor or you consult with someone, a very good one, not just ordinary consultant, you understand? This person will guide you and walk you through the farming process. And whenever the person is telling you something, don't argue with them. They know it more than you. You don't know it as the reason why you come to them. I know many of people that I've worked with, they argue and argue. Like someone that I told he wanted to buy a seed, and I told him there are a lot of seed. We have a different fake seeds. Or he was like, "Hey Brent, I saw this seed at a so amount of." I said, "Okay, fine, go ahead, go and buy it." He went ahead to go and buy it. At the end of the day, the seeds are fake. He went ahead to go and buy fertilizer, and at the end of the day, the fertilizers are fake. We have all these things. We have all varieties of fake agro products flying up and down. So, but if you consult with a practicing farmer, they know all those things. They will guide you through. They will show you what you're supposed to do. So it's very, 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 very important. So please, farming is very okay. Farming is good. Farming is something that if you put your money in it, you will definitely get it back. But you have to be patient. You cannot hurry the crop to grow. There is a process for each crop. There are things that you are supposed to give for each crops. Whatever the crops you wanted to do, please look for someone that is growing them and let them mentor you. It's very, very important. Thank you and have a very successful 2023 farming. And I believe if you follow all this procedure, you'll be successful in your farming career, and then you will have a very good harvest this year 2023. Like I said, my name is Olakunle Olatunji, Olatfarms. What we do majorly in our farm is we help you set up your farm. We consult for you. The major crops that we do in the farm is cucumber, ugu, sweet corn, tomatoes, and then pepper. So if you want to know about all these crops, you can do well to contact us on 070-6502-1189. We will surely give you our best. Thank you